Welcome back to the program. Brian Summerfield, Trucker Randy, your defending fathers, and I know you've had the opportunity to ride on subways and probably even trains around different parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever visited D.C., the main way to get around is to take the subway.
Yep.
One of the well-run, well-laid out, very clean. It is a showpiece and meant to be that way.
With many stops along the the visitors' routes of all the different exhibits and places that you're going to want to see. Very well laid out. Probably one of the most efficient systems in the country. And
I have spent a number of times on the Chicago Transit Authority in their different subways, and there's different dynamics inside of subways, especially depending on the time of day that you ride on them. One time I was on a subway at about 2 a.m. in Chicago, and it was kind of scary, some of the things that were starting to unfold, but it all worked out, and things were under control. But again, subways sometimes are interesting places. Well, on a subway one day, people were sitting quietly, some reading newspapers, some lost in thought, some resting with their eyes closed. It was calm, peaceful scene. Then suddenly a man and his children entered the subway car. The children were so loud and rambunctious, and instantly the whole climate changed. The man sat down and closed his eyes, apparently oblivious to the situation. The children were yelling back and forth, throwing things, even grabbing people's papers. It was very disturbing, and yet the man sitting next to me did nothing. It was difficult not to feel irritated. I could not believe that he could be so insensitive to let his children run wild like that and do nothing about it, taking no responsibility at all. It was easy to see that everyone else on the subway felt irritated too. So finally, with what I felt was unusual patience and restraint, I turned to him and said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. I wonder if you couldn't control them a little bit more." The man lifted his gaze as if to come to a consciousness of the situation for the first time and said softly, "Oh, you're right. I guess I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago. I don't know what to think. I guess they just don't know how to handle it either." Can you imagine what I felt at that moment? Suddenly I saw things different. I felt differently. I behaved differently. My irritation vanished. I didn't have to worry about controlling my attitude or my behavior. My heart was filled with the man's pain. Feelings of sympathy and compassion flowed freely. "Your wife just died? Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you tell me about it? What can I do to help?" Everything changed in that instant. And so many times you look at things on the outside and think you know the answers, or you've figured things out, or you've got it. You're going to take a side and do something about it. And what I would caution is that in most things, there are a lot of different ways to look at it. And like I brought up the story the other day, sometimes people will look at a ball and say, "Well, that ball is white," and people behind them will say, "No, that ball is black." In reality, the ball is both white and black. On one side it's white, and on the other side it's black. And instead of a haste to rush to judgment, or sometimes wanting to jump on sides, maybe sometimes it's better just to take back and take a step back and not really worry so much about right or wrong or what side. And sometimes that shift in paradigm will happen. Reminded of that story this week, thought I would share it. The